95.9 FM. This is Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here in studio with my guest co-host, Mr. Marshawn Powers. What's up? What you call yourself, Marshawn? The Beast?
No, no. I say, what do I say? People ask me what's my name. I say same as Marshawn Lynch, same beast, just different bodies.
Yeah, same beast, just different bodies.
Yeah.
What's up with you today, sir? How you doing?
I'm chilling, Rachel. I was off from work today, so just enjoying the day. It was pretty warm. One of the last warm days we're gonna see in Cleveland in 2021.
Yeah, we still got a couple warm ones left. Saturday's supposed to be like 75, so that's good.
I'm enjoying them all because it can go from 60
40
to
point
negative
swing.
60.
Yeah. It go 40 degree
hours.
swing.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely for sure. So man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. So one of the things that I want to get into is a little preview of the Minnesota Vikings versus the Cleveland Browns matchup. This matchup is going to be taking place in Minnesota. The last time the Cleveland Browns played in Minnesota, it was over in England, and it wasn't too good. So we lost that. I believe it was 33-16, and Browns never really got anything going as soon as it started. But it's a different day. It's a new day. This is a new Cleveland Browns team. Marshawn, what are your thoughts about what this game could possibly be like, or let me ask you this first. Realistically, not being a homer, because we try not to be homers on this show. We try to give analysis and things like that. Who do you think is going to win this game and why?
It's tough because they both run the same same style of offense. You got a lot of connections between both teams, between really on the Browns from the Vikings, where we have, I want to say, including Coach Stefanski, 6 coaches that's familiar with the Vikings: Chad O'Shea, Drew Pretzen, Mike Prefer, Joe Woods, Jeff Howard. I think it's going to come down to are we going to see the same defense that we saw last year? Because both teams rank within the top 10 offensively across the board. It's everything: pass, rush, special teams. But the Browns defense is top 10. The Vikings defense is bottom 10. So I think offensively, the Vikings and the Browns pretty much practice against the same offense each day. So it's going to be between Stefanski and, I want to say, who's the offensive coordinator over there?
I can't think off the top of my head. But
Kubiak's son.
Mike Zimmer, you can go coach by coach.
It's Gary Kubiak's son. But anyway, who's going to be more creative with their style of offense to try to do something different? Like I say, we run this 13, 12, 11 personnel. We all run the same type of style. But I think we're going to have to see something different between both teams because, honestly, last week I didn't see the Vikings beating the Seahawks, and we saw a damn near perfect game from Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson. They did all of this without their star running back, Dalvin Cook. So
yeah, he's supposed to play this game.
Yeah, so this is a game where I think the Browns going to have to bring their A game defensively because we have the better defense all around. We're probably going to be missing our rookie defensive back who's been balling. So this is a time where we may need Greedy Williams to step up. But we run the ball better. I still think nobody's figured out the game plan to stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and Demetric Felton because he's a bomb third down back. He's a Swiss Army knife. You can throw him out there as a receiver or as a rusher. So I think we're on a roll. I think we're still gonna win. I think we're gonna win by at least 10 points. At least 10 points. The spread on this game is kind of low in my opinion.
It's 1 point.
Huh?
It's 1.
It's 1?
Yeah, 1 point.
The spread is 1 point.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a little disrespectful. I think we'll win by at least 10. Because we got the defense, The Vikings went out this past offseason. They got a lot of guys. You got Pat Pete, and none of these guys is really stepping up. The defense this isn't a defense that I'm used to seeing with the Vikings. You're used to seeing maybe top 15, top 20 offense and a top 10, top 5 defense, and see that these guys are ranked in the bottom 10. It's just not what I'm used to seeing. So I got the Browns winning. I'm not going to give a score prediction to the end, but I definitely got the Browns winning by at least 10 points.
Yeah, I have the Browns winning too. We can do our score predictions at the very end, but when you go, when you go by, your offense, your defense, Cleveland obviously has a better offense, but you mentioned something about creativity, and I'm not sure how creative Kevin Stefanski can possibly be because Mike Zimmer knows Kevin Stefanski in and out, and Kevin Stefanski copied this offense from Mike Zimmer. Yeah. So how creative are you going to be over something that you completely duplicated from somebody else?
Well, I mean, honestly, who's going to have to, probably be allowed to have some input on this? AVP, Alex Van Pelt. Maybe some things that AVP did with the Packers, because honestly, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, the Packers ran this type of offense kind of similarly. So AVP knows how to, twinkle with the little things and, change it. But I honestly think that, again, it's going to come down to it probably, running with using our running backs, the trenches. It's going to come down to.
Yeah, because I mean, when you go head to head versus Dalvin Cook, I think Nick Chubb is a better running back, and then you have a two-headed piece.
Healthier running back. I think here's my thing when people, it's not a hating thing, but I feel like, and feel free anybody who's listening to tell me if I'm wrong. Ever since Le'Veon Bell was at the peak of his career, when he was like one of the best running backs in the game, I feel like in order to be a top running back now, you need to also be able to run well. You need to be able to catch well, or you need to be able to be the greatest at one, i.e., King Henry, is damn near impossible to stop him because he's 6'3". He's going to run straight through you like a linebacker. My knock on Nick Chubb is he's not the greatest pass catcher, which is hard for me to.
It's improvement opportunity. It's an improvement opportunity.
Yeah.
But, you're not going to run a ton of screens with him that much. You're going to just have him straight run the ball where you're going to run those screens with, Kareem Hunt, and you throw him in there for a different look.
But that's his safety net, though. Like, I feel like, I don't know.
I don't think this team wants to be a team that does a ton of screens, but they recognize the advantages that they have with Kareem Hunt, that he is a pass catcher and running back.
Right.
And they're going to utilize it to their advantage, especially in those short down situations where they know that he's going to grind it out. So I think, to that advantageous, I just think that obviously, I mean, we have the best running combo in the league, flat out, period.
Oh, for sure.
It was on show Sunday. And I think that Kareem Hunt is going to get more playing time this go around. I think that could be part of the exotic, if you want to call it, looks that possibly Kevin Stefanski might try to show, because we all know that that Nick Chubb gets the ball way more than Kareem Hunt. So how about you even that out and use his versatility and what he can do to be a little exotic while you're running the 11 personnel, 12 personnel, that type of stuff that he wants to do. I think that he's going to involve the tight ends a little bit more. We know that was something that they like to do in Minnesota, but I think that's something that he's going to do on Sunday, is involve them, because David Njoku didn't have any targets on Sunday.
And the Vikings line, I mean, just like ours, the Vikings linebacker core is kind of depleted due to injuries. Eric Kendricks he hasn't played all season, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this will be a good game to get our tight ends involved. I think this will be a good game to expose those corners. The defensive line, I think the defensive line will be the bright spot of the defense. The defensive line, in my opinion, is still pretty good, but everything else is kind of not as good as what it should be. So I think this is a game where I would like to see, in my opinion, our pass. I think this is the running game. We know what we're gonna get, but I would like to see this a game where instead of the backbone of the win be on the run game, let the backbone of the game be in Baker's hands. Let us get our first 100 receiver, maybe 2 touchdown receiver of this game. That way we know, okay, this ain't just a run first. But this is technically a run first team, but we still have the capability to beat a team on the strength of the pass game.
Yeah, because obviously passing game is predicated on the running game.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm going to give an edge here as far as coaching edge, I'm going to give that coaching edge to Mike Zimmer. And you just hate to do it, but Kevin Stefanski is just too new. He makes a few mistakes, and he's still learning, and he's still growing as a coach. And he knows he's not perfect, but you going up against somebody who almost got like 40 years in the NFL. Exactly. Well, a lot of time in college, a lot of time in NFL, and that's okay. This is a must-win game for Minnesota. They don't want to drop down to 1-3, so that's going to be something that's important for them as well, because they could easily be sitting at 3-0 with some of the games that they have. Absolutely. But one of the things is, already if you start out slow and you start out with a bunch of losses, you're not going to make the playoffs. So do you really want to go to 1-3? Because that definitely hurts your playoff chances. But obviously, we've upgraded our defense. So this is, obviously that was some years ago. Yeah. But what do you think that this team is going to be able to do against Kirk Cousins? Do you think that they're going to be able to get to him like they were able to get to Justin Fields? Because you got that many sacks, you're tasting blood, and you think every week that you're going to go out and sack everybody another 9 times. Yeah. Is that offensive line going to be able to hold up to protect Kirk Cousins?
That's to be determined. I personally don't feel like the Vikings offensive line is nearly as bad as Chicago. I think Chicago's offensive line is like, I don't know, JUCO. I think that was, you had Old Man Peters out there. I just think the offensive line is very, very like historically bad. So, not to say that the Vikings offensive line is extremely well. I'm going to say their offensive line is maybe middle of the pack. So it basically pretty much what I'm saying. Are we going to see another 4.5 sack day from Miles? I doubt it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see the team with maybe 3 to 4 sacks out of the game. I think now that we found some continuity and some belief based off what we did with Chicago, even though, like I say, that was just a historically bad offensive line. I expect that to bleed over. I expect, even though we're going to be missing our rookie cornerback, I expect the DBs to step up. I expect to see more Grant Delpit. I expect to see Denzel's name called, maybe an interception on his end. I expect to see JJ3 to step up. So I'm just excited to, like I say, to see, again, which defense is going to step up to stop the offense, because the offenses are almost identically similar. And, what creativity is it going to be, because if I'm running the same 13-man, wide zone run with Dalvin Cook Nick Chubb is running the same thing, might be a low scoring game if both teams know. But, if Kevin Stefanski don't do nothing crazy, like i.e. put Demetric Felton in and have Kareem Hunt on the bench, we might be able to be up 30-0.
And this is why Mike Zimmer has the edge, because of stuff like that. Like I said, Kevin Stefanski still has some improvement opportunities. But it makes me think that if Minnesota game plans for this Cleveland defense, specifically Myles Garrett, that even if they double him or give him those chips, but if they double him, that's going to give what's his name, Jadeveon Clowney, an opportunity to be able to rush off, so that you be careful, pick your poison, because what you take away, you're going to gain something somewhere else. So
also, one thing I learned that Joe Woods didn't do the first 2 games that he did last game, he moved Myles Garrett around. So he didn't just have Myles Garrett on the left side. He also put him inside at maybe a little bit of D tackle, put him on the right side, and put Clowney on the left side. So if he continues to move him around, maybe find that weak spot and exploit that weak spot in the Vikings line, you never know. I'll put it to you like this: based off the research I've done while we're talking, the Vikings defensive line is worse than the Houston Texans. And look what the Houston Texans did. So I feel like, if the Vikings, if Myles Garrett can show up like he did last week and maybe a sack or a sack and a half, I consider that a dub. I consider that a good win.
Yeah, but the Vikings defense, they allow the second most yards per play in the NFL through the past 3 weeks. So they allow 6.8 yards per play. So
that sounds like a Chubb run right there.
Exactly. That's the ability to gash and a whole bunch of bubble screens and stuff like that for Kareem Hunt. Look, I'm just putting Kareem Hunt in this offense more.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to do it. Somebody got to do it.
I would love to see Kareem and Chubb out there at the same time.
I wonder why they've never ran a play like that. You know, they put Janovich out there, you know, with them in the I formation, but I run a little I formation with them too, and that'll really confuse.
Put Kareem at fullback because he runs angry.
Yeah,
you know that you know who he reminds me of.
Who?
And I hate to compare these two. He runs like Mike Allstott. I know you remember Mike Allstott.
Yeah.
He runs just like Mike Allstott, just angry, just a bulldozer.
With rebellion.
Yeah.
Like you running away from somebody.
I've never seen nobody run sideways and successful at it. Kareem runs sideways. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Well, we got a lot more to get into. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Just need to let y'all guys know. I know y'all like to pick it fast, but sir, look.
If you can, try
I'm so glad you did. You go about to break the jacket. Check it up.
Is this one of your favorite card games? Come on down and compete in the Cleveland Delta Foundation Bid Whist Tournament. There will be 3 rounds on 3 different nights, with a championship night for the 4th night. First round is October 15th, second round is October 22nd, and third round is October 29th, with the championship round on November 5th. Each tournament night will go from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. An entry fee is $50, with a cash prize per winner on each team of $200. But wait, on the championship and the celebration on November 5th, the championship team will win $500. Tournament takes place at the Delta Center, 11955 Checker Boulevard, and masks are required. Tickets can be found on Eventbrite, and any questions can be emailed to gcdfldc@gmail.com. Again, that's gcdfldc.
And then after that, did you want to cover the signing of Richard Sherman?
And as Jay Williams would say, some can, some can't, some will, some won't.
Okay.
Bid Whist, baby. This message is brought to you by the Friends of Cleveland Delta Foundation and WOVU, a Burton Belcar community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I'm in studio today with Mr. Marshawn Powers. And you can always make sure you're listening to us. You can listen to us live on the internet at WOVU.org. You can also download that WOVU app, and you can contact us while you're on the go. And then also, too, you can always give us a call and join the conversation at 216-271-0959. We're talking about why the Cleveland Browns will win. We're going to give our sports predictions at our score predictions at their end. But we're talking about right now about why the Cleveland Browns will win. You all right over there, Marshawn? Uh-oh. Just screw it back in and be okay. Just put some water on it. Remember, we'll get DJ Chris Styles in here to help us out. But remember on Friday when he's like, just put some water on it, talking about the cereal. Let's see what he's doing. DJ Chris Styles. Normally, if I call him, he come in here, but he might not be listening right now.
Here we go. I got it.
All right, cool. See, we like MacGyver up in here. We do what we got to do, and it looks good now. So, what we was going to talk about when we was on break was we were going to talk about the offense. So, what type of obviously the edge is Kirk Cousins compared to Baker Mayfield. What do you think Kirk Cousins will be able to do against this Cleveland Browns defense?
I mean, just knowing how Kirk Cousins is, the check down guy, and he doesn't take many risks with throwing it like all the way down the field like most quarterbacks. I'm gonna say what can I say? I'm trying to think of a realistic number of what Kirk Cousins is going to do on Sunday. I'm going to say I'll give Kirk the benefit of the doubt. I think Kirk is going to throw for 275, 2 touchdowns, and maybe 2 picks. I think Kirk will definitely, just the veteran type of person he is, the fact that he knows the type of that this defense has seen this offense again. And that he knows that maybe Minnesota has their own little kinks and twists to it, stuff like that, maybe to fool the Browns a little bit. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Kirk is gonna have just an extreme better day, because if I say Kirk is gonna have an extreme better day, then I gotta say Baker Mayfield is gonna have an extreme better day. You know, because I know Browns fans is gonna kill me for this, but I consider Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield kind of in the same tier. Not too far off.
Yeah.
Not too far off, but I feel like they're.
What's wrong with that? I think you're correct in your assessment.
But listen,
Browns fans don't want to hear that.
No. Because at the end of the day, they feel like
you're correct.
They feel like, and I'm not getting down on Browns fans, because again, I am a Browns fan. So in a sense, I was this person once before I came to realization. But the typical the typical diehard Browns fan feel like every player on that team at that position is the best at it. For example, Odell right now is the best wide receiver in the league. Denzel is the best corner in the league. Myles Garrett is the best defensive end in the league. J.C. Treader is the best center in the league. You know, that's
regardless
how
if
they feel.
It's true or
regardless
not.
if it's true or not. You know, so if you say that Baker Mayfield is anything less than top 5 quarterback, you're a hater in the city of Cleveland. And that's crazy. But I feel like realistically, Baker Mayfield hasn't got to that tier where I could say, oh, he's better than Justin Herbert, or he's better than Derek Carr, or he's better than Matt Ryan, things of that nature. You know, I still need to see certain things to make me to be able to say, all right, definitively, he's that guy. You know, but he hasn't shown it yet. And that's not a knock on it, because he's only been in the league for 4 years. So, you know, I'm giving him time. You know, I was impatient at first, but now that I'm starting to come around to my senses, starting to become more patient with Mayfield. So I think if Dalvin Cook plays, I think that both teams offenses are going to be on the back of the running game, because Minnesota has a very good backup running back in Alex Madison, who, you know, is kind of similar, has a running similar style to a Nick Chubb, very elusive, also can catch the ball very well. So, man, I say Kirk Cousins have a mediocre day. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to have a Pro Bowl type of day, but I think I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. In the event that, let's say, Minnesota does win, I don't think it's going to be because of Kirk Cousins. I would believe that it was more so because of Dalvin Cook than to be more of Kirk Cousins.
Well, so far the Vikings have played good football. They just haven't been able to win games, and they had some extenuating circumstances. Yeah. So I take the quarterback matchup. It's going to be Kirk Cousins for me. You know, obviously just a veteran. And Baker, I think Baker is going to want to improve upon the performance. I know, you know, that his numbers were not bad at all against Chicago, but you see the errant throws, that 2 of them that could have went for touchdowns. Those are things that Baker Mayfield is going to want to improve upon. But that just comes with his growth and his maturation. And I've backed off of Baker Mayfield a lot, you know, in the past. I don't always criticize him, because you should have been here prior last year. I criticized him a lot.
Really?
His freshman year.
We had the Baker Mayfield criticism show last year.
Oh yeah. So I criticize Baker a lot, but I have to realize that, you know, these quarterbacks have to grow into their position. You see all these quarterbacks that got drafted very high all suck. You know, I had patience for Justin Fields, and he can still have them. You know, he can still have a great career and a great season. Just it wasn't going to be against the Browns.
Well, that's because all of these quarterbacks were drafted in a position thinking that they were going to immediately play. When what's always been the formula for good first-round quarterbacks?
Have them sit, but they're not sitting anymore. Yeah, they having to play. They being called into service before it's time.
Exactly. What's that? I mean, have you ever heard of what's that that mode on Madden? Road to the quarterback or Road to the League or something like that. But on Madden, they have this thing called Road to the League or something like that. And I feel like some of these GMs feel like they playing that, where you just create a player, i.e. draft that player, and just hope that you could just stick him in there, start him, and that he's going to lead your team to a Super Bowl within 3 years. But that's not the case.
And I think that's what they genuinely hope to happen. And like you said, that is not the case. So you're kind of watching growing pains. You know, Baker's on year 4, but remember, it's only year 3.5 because he didn't start half of the season. Yeah. So he's not there just yet. They're learning how to work. You know, that he's learning how to work the system. You know, he's involved. He's been in the same system for 2 years now, which is good for him. So you have to look at some of the extenuating factors like constant coaching, different systems. How can he flourish? So I've just had to take a step back from my criticism of Baker and it's okay. You know, I have to let him, get the timing right. He had great timing with Odell. They went to him straight out the game. So that's another, opportunity is going to be offensive opportunity, with Odell. Now you're the number one receiver, so he's going to be targeted. So
do you think this? Again, I'm not trying to say that Juice's injury was a good thing, but do you think this is a kind of a blessing and a curse for both Odell and Juice? Where it's kind of a curse for Juice because obviously you're hurt, you're not out there, but it's a blessing for Odell to get those touches, those receptions, that looks, getting the ball fed to you as much as you want it, because technically there's not another receiver out there in the same tier as you that could get those looks. Do you think that it's kind of a blessing and a curse for both?
Lightweight, because I look at it great timing, because with the Juice being hurt, you have a number one receiver still.
Right.
So that's a good thing that your number one isn't completely down and you're not completely relying on people such as Hollywood Higgins and Donovan Peoples-Jones, which they are good players, but it's different than your number one and, Jarvis, who's your possession receiver. Right. So it sucks because I want Jarvis here for the Chargers. So that's the one game for me that, I'm like, okay, he can miss, these and we'll be okay. The way the Chargers have been playing and, they beat the Chiefs. I want to have Jarvis with us for that game, but it's okay if we don't have him. And now it'd be the opportunity for Odell to step up. But you see, Kevin Stefanski really hasn't been involved in receivers too much in the game plan. So hopefully that'll be something that he does this week to be a little different and not be predictable, is involving those receivers in the game plan. So, hopefully, not only Odell gets targets, but DPJ, since he's your second receiver.
Absolutely. It's supposed to be the best receiving core in the AFC North, one of the top receiving cores in the league. So I've yet to see it, A lot of my friends that I hope is listening, because I told some of them to check me out today, but a lot of them feel like I'm hating when I say that the Cincinnati Bengals have the best receiving core in our division right now. It ain't on paper, it's being seen. Yeah. Tyler Boyd is balling. T. Higgins is balling. Jamar Chase is balling. That's what I expect to see out of Juice, OBJ, and either DPJ or Hollywood Higgins. That's what I expected to see. I expected to see a top 3 offense where we got the 2 best running backs, but also we have 2 wide receivers that could get it. I want to see. I want to see us put up 50 on somebody, man, like a 50 to 7.
50 burger.
Let's put a 50 burger up, man. Then that Conor McGregor walk, when he walk and he flailing his arms. I swear I'll walk down Public Square with no shirt on in the wintertime if we put up a 50 burger on somebody.
I don't want you doing that, Marshawn, because you can catch frostbite. So I really don't want you doing that. But I think that the Browns will be prepared for this. Yeah. Like I said, the thing about, Mike Zimmer is that you got to do something different because he's expecting you to be like him during his game. So Kevin Stefanski has to do something different. And, you can do some exotic offenses. It's up to him what he wants to do with this game, but, not be predictable because we, even though they won, there were still questions about why do you have, what's his name? Thank you.
Demetric Felton.
And not Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
so,
you know what I think it is? And, oh my goodness. You know what I think it is? You know how when certain people try to cook and they try to, add their own flavor into add their own flavor into the dish instead of just leaving the dish how it is because it tastes perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what Kevin Stefanski does, He's trying to add in extra salt, extra garlic, i.e. that's Demetric Felton, to something that already tastes amazing. You got Chubb and Hunt, just ride that out. Maybe if you want to throw Felton in there, to throw the team off here and there. But to start the game off, Chubb, get you 2-3 good runs in. Hunt, you come in, you get you 2 runs and maybe a pass catch in. And then if y'all both gassed out, then you throw Demetric Felton in there. Then you throw, what's my other guy, Johnson. I can't think of his first name. But then you throw that other guy in there, Keep those guys. Dearness Johnson. Sorry, Dearness. But then you throw Dearness Johnson in there because my only fear about this, Chubb is, Kareem Hunt, he's more durable, but Chubb isn't. I don't want to pound to the point it's 17 games. We get to the playoffs. It's like we can't even pound no more. We.
But that's because the type of runner Nick Chubb is.
Yeah.
You can't stop him, and he's powerful.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can't stop him, so conserve him. But I think Demetric Felton should be a last option, but you need to be using him on special teams more than ever because, he's been our special team stalwart. He has been able to get us yards, on punts and kickoffs, which is something that 13 yards, which is laughable for an NFL team.
Absolutely.
But, use him more as a special team person. Conserve him a little bit instead of putting him out there all the time. And, every maybe 2 plays per game, if you run in 60 plays, maybe 1, maybe 2, but you ride the horses that got you there. So, yeah, Sunday should be very interesting because it's almost a must-win situation for Minnesota Vikings. So that they're going to throw everything they got at the Cleveland Browns. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Tom Brady and his homecoming back to Gillette Stadium and linking up with his best friend, Bill Belichick. We're going to be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's time to put a glide in your stride and walk it out for the Greater Cleveland Delta Foundation's virtual walk for Greater Cleveland, Friday, October 1st through Sunday, October 3rd. Register at clevelanddeltafoundation.org. How far you walk and for how long is completely up to you. In fact, you don't even have to walk at all. All you need to do is move your body. That's the name of the game. You can walk, jog, run, bike, dance, jump rope, hula hoop, it's all up to you. We just want you to move. So get going with the Greater Cleveland Delta Foundation's virtual walk for Greater Cleveland, October 1st through October 3rd. Register at clevelanddeltafoundation.org. Brought to you by Planet Fitness Ohio City, the Greater Cleveland Delta Foundation, and WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, Burton Bell Carr Community Radio.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and you've been listening to me and Mr. Marshawn Powers talk a little bit of Cleveland Browns versus the Minnesota Vikings and which team we think will prevail. And then when we end the show, we'll actually give our score predictions. And Ohio State is taking on Rutgers this weekend, correct?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I forgot all about them after that thrashing that they put on Akron. So maybe we could possibly do a score prediction for Rutgers. And then do they play Maryland after that?
Yes, sir. I text my fella Caleb today, man. I text my guy Caleb. I can text him back because he told me, he said Ohio State is gonna treat us like light work. And I got so distracted with something I'm doing, but I'm gonna definitely text my guy Caleb back with a few videos. I'm gonna give him a little history lesson about Maryland football and what we really can possibly do to Ohio State next Saturday.
Okay, sounds interesting.
But we got some hard work. I'm actually going out there. I'm gonna leave tomorrow night. I'm actually going out there Friday because we got Friday Night Lights, the only game that I'm gonna go to this year because number 5 Iowa. So I'm gonna come back next week with a little scout report on.
I thought you were going to the Ohio State.
I am.
Maryland game.
I am. I'm off Saturday, so I can. Okay. I'm on Fridays and Saturdays, so I'm gonna treat myself to go out there, check out my Maryland Terrapins take on the Iowa Hawkeyes at Capital One Field in College Park. But I'm definitely gonna be in Columbus at the shoot next Saturday. I'm definitely gonna try to link and watch with my guy Caleb. And enjoy it. Win or lose, I'm going to be proud of Maryland. I don't expect them to beat Ohio State, but if they do,
well, that's good.
If they do, you definitely going to see me shirtless running down High Street on ESPN something. I am going to go crazy.
It's not even a trap. It's not even a trap game, sir. Not at all. We're not.
If we win, oh, man, I'm going to be the loudest thing on High Street.
Oh, God. Yeah, don't get arrested for...
No, I'm gonna do it responsibly.
Because they would have the paddy wagons out Friday and Saturday nights. Ain't no joke, man. Yeah. It's funny. I wonder how many people got arrested for public intoxication. Oh, it was so easy to do. But it seemed like they gave people breaks a lot. You know, there were some times when, I first got to school and, I never really drank in high school. So, I got down there without no parental supervision. And, you be walking down High Street and, sometimes you need assistance and, you just hope that the cops don't roll up on you. So you just be on your best behavior. But good times. Hopefully you and Caleb can link and, be able to have a good time, and he can show you about what going to the best university in the country is about. So hopefully you guys will have a good time, and he'll show you that, because a lot of people don't have the opportunity to set foot on that campus. So it should be like one of the 9 wonders of the world.
I just hate that. I guess I'm so spoiled because in College Park the football field is on campus.
Oh, okay.
So
it's on campus too. The football field is on campus.
You got the shoe right here.
It was right down the street from my dorm.
The shoe is right here. The Schottenheimer Center is about 20 minutes away.
That's kind of, but yeah, but it's just a big campus. Yeah. So I used to take classes on West Campus, and I actually had to take a bus to get there. So yeah, that's it's a big campus, but it's on campus. So Tom Brady goes back to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. What are your thoughts about him coming back? Because we also want to talk about a little bit about something. LeBron made a lot of good comments on Monday, and talk about LeBron's experience and when he came back here to Cleveland. But what are your thoughts about Tom Brady going back to Gillette Stadium?
Well, I don't think Tom Brady is going to get the response LeBron got when he came back here, because everybody was upset with LeBron. I think Patriots fans, first of all, I'll be surprised if Tom Brady ain't welcomed back with open arms, warm welcome, because in all actuality, it doesn't seem like it was Tom Brady's fault that he ended up in Tampa Bay. It kind of seems like it was, a little bit of Bill's fault, a little bit of the Patriots want to go a different way, Tom want to go a different way. So I ain't gonna put the entire blame on Tom, but
you got to pick a side, Marshawn.
I'm going with Tom. Tom is the GOAT, man. I'm going with the GOAT. Like I told my guy Willie, shout out my guy Willie Epstein. He ain't here today, but I told Willie on the Shake Back show last week, there's 3 people you never bet against. God himself, Kevin Durant. It used to be LeBron, but now it's Kevin Durant, and the GOAT. You do never bet against
Kevin Durant didn't even make it out of the Eastern Conference Finals, man.
Listen,
whatever.
LeBron ain't make it out the
Kevin
first
Durant.
round. LeBron ain't make it out the first round for my Lakers. Kevin Durant made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
What was it? What they call themselves? Oh God, I can't remember. Him, Kyrie, and James Harden, something gang.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay,
but no, I expect you throw a whooping.
Step back game. I think
the step back game.
Oh my God. Step back game. Something like that.
They should have kept that one in Brooklyn. Keep that in the text group. But as far as 12. I expect 12 go to. I'll tell you this. I expect the outcome to be like it was when the Heat played the Cavs. They whooped the Cavs' tail. I expect the same thing from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Patriots got a top 10 defense. I give you that. But I just do not. I ain't as high on Mac Jones as everybody else. I think Mac is going to be probably a good overall player throughout his career. But this year, I honestly don't think the Patriots are going to meet the expectations of everybody else of being just this 11-win, 10-win.
With a freshman quarterback? Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's kind of crazy. So I think that 12 in the Bucs is going to go in there. I think they're going to handle Tampa Bay, and Tom is going to make Belichick eat his words, and his face is in Belichick's face is going to be even more grumpier, like a kid who don't get his way. So I definitely feel like that. I'm excited to see it. I'm off on Monday, so I'm gonna enjoy me a few craft cocktails while I'm watching this game and seeing my guy 12 do his work. Got him on my fantasy team, so I'm gonna need him to do his work because last week wasn't good enough. But I'm excited, man. I like one thing about me being as a sports fan, I love when players who've been somewhere finally go back to that team that they've been with for a long time. Like I can't wait to when DeAndre Hopkins go back to Houston. I can't wait to when Matthew Stafford go back to Detroit. I can't wait to, that day when they finally free my guy Deshaun Watson. I know you don't like him, but when
who said I didn't like? I don't like him at all. I just don't understand why he needed 45 masseuses.
We ain't talking about that right now.
I don't understand why not use one. That's all.
We're going to put that in that box with religion and COVID vaccine. We just ain't going to talk about that right now. But I'm gonna be excited when Deshaun goes back to Houston after they finally release him, But like I say, it's funny how now all of these stories is coming up about how Belichick didn't want to meet with Tom till Tom could tell him goodbye and all of that. So
his feelings was hurt.
Why?
Because he probably secretly loves Tom Brady. But Bill Belichick has to put on this persona like he's so hard and nothing matter. Dude dresses like Rasheed Wallace. Remember when Rasheed Wallace always had some cut off? One time, did you ever see the toy with Richard Pryor and Jackie Gleason? Remember when they was in the river and the piranhas beat him? Like ate him up. There was one time Rasheed Wallace, I swear to God, had on some pants like that when he was playing with the Detroit Pistons. He reminds me of Rasheed Wallace. Just, I wouldn't say crass, but, the way he dressed. So Bill's probably more caring person. They was together like 20 years. They won multiple titles together. And Bill Belichick is a person. And they did this every day for 6 months. That's a long time. You build up a relationship, almost a brotherhood, because I feel like the Bill versus Brady thing is a media-driven narrative. I think they got along well. I think that, Bill was obviously, sad to see him go because I already think he was made to eat his words when Tom left and won the Super Bowl. It wasn't like, it took Tom another 2-3 years to get to the Super Bowl. He won it the year after he left. After he left the Patriots. And, who knows? They didn't have a ton of weapons for Tom Brady, but it's Tom Brady. Maybe they would have won another Super Bowl.
Whose fault is that they didn't have the weapons? Ain't Bill Belichick the general manager? Ain't he the one that's calling the shots and drafting? I mean, he had a few bad drafts in 2016. So you can't help Tom Brady. Hey, listen, one thing I learned about people, we're opportunists. And if
we all opportunists.
Yeah, we all are opportunists. I ain't gonna say men or female. I'm gonna say people because we all are opportunists. But if somebody gives you another opportunity to go somewhere and be great and be happy, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna take that opportunity and you're gonna go that place. And Tampa, and it was another team, which I think it was the Las Vegas Raiders, but we'll never know, gave Tom that opportunity. So Tom took the opportunity. Hey, it's like a relationship. Brady wasn't happy. Bill Belichick was doing the bare minimum to keep my guy Brady happy.
Well, I think a lot of it boiled down to money, even though Tom Brady is blessed beyond measure when it comes to money. But I look at that as an organizational thing too, not just on Bill Belichick. That comes down to the owners as well. So I guess I don't look at this all on Bill Belichick because I think he would have preferred a different outcome and he would have preferred Tom not leaving. But at the end of the day, I think Tom wanted to try something different. I don't know why. And maybe one day when he writes a book, he will tell about that. But, something happened right there. But I truly think that they have more fondness for each other than the media is, because right now it's a great story. Brady versus Belichick. 8 p.m. game. He comes back into Foxborough. They wasn't going on the road to Tampa, but this has been set by the NFL with very driven storylines. I guess I just don't blame Bill Belichick fully for Tom Brady leaving. Something happened, but I still think that they have a great love for each other, because how could you win that many titles together and absolutely hate each other? I just don't think it's possible.
I don't think they hate each other, but I just kind of feel like maybe Tom just wanted to be from up under the Belichick way. Same thing. You remember what I said?
But winning was the Belichick way. Winning was the Belichick way.
Okay. How much? I mean, they're just saying that winning solves everything, but how much does winning solve? You know what I mean? Tom probably just got bored. Look at Tom now. He feels free. He's drinking avocado tequila. I need some of that.
Throwing Super Bowl trophies.
I'm saying, listen, Tom, if you ever listen to this show, send me some of that avocado tequila. I never had it. Sounds like it's amazing.
It doesn't. It sounds like it tastes like butter. That's what avocados taste like. Like butter.
It sounds amazing, but no, he just feels free. I mean, I kind of felt it with Cam, where it's like they kind of molded Cam into a corporate guy, corporate football player, instead of actually just free falling, having fun football player. That's what I feel like.
You think the Patriots did that?
Yeah, I feel like
you fall in line.
Yeah, you fall in line. You a corporate football player.
But at what cost? And that's winning. A lot of people willing to do that to win because it's the Patriot way.
Man, obviously Tom don't need it. Look what he did last year.
But the Patriot way did a lot for him in his career, and
true.
enabled him to make more money. And doing it Tom's way, he had been able to extend his career and in contention for still multiple championships. And he's 44 years old. This dude is doing this at 44 years old, but he's always been a pocket passer. He's never been a running quarterback, so he's been able to extend his career by staying in that pocket and having a good offensive line.
I don't think he would be able to. I don't think he would still be playing had he been probably a little mobile. Not he don't need to be extremely mobile, but he was a little bit more mobile than he was right now. I think Tom would have hung it up a couple years ago.
And then before we go to break, LeBron was on Peyton and Eli on Monday night, and he was like, that date that he returned back to Cleveland as a Miami Heat player is etched into his memory. He was like, he couldn't sleep the night before, he couldn't eat before, and I was really surprised to hear him say that. Talking about
he truly loves the city.
Yeah, but I at that time he was the enemy and you chose to leave. Nobody forced you to leave. You chose to leave. So I was really surprised that he would be nervous, and he was like, he never thought he would be met with such vitriol, but he understood it. So I think it was really candid. Do you think Tom Brady is nervous about coming back to Foxborough?
He was there for 20 years. If Tom ain't nervous, Tom ain't human. Because you were somewhere for 20 years. You built a relationship with the entire not just one part of like Boston, Foxborough. You built Maine, New Hampshire, what else?
Yeah, all those states.
All of
the New England states.
The New England. The Patriots represented that whole area, So to be able to come back and, be felt with so much love, if Tom didn't come back and didn't feel joyous, if he didn't come back and feel nervous and joyous and all like that, Tom's not human.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for Sunday. I can't wait to watch that game. So we're going to take our final break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
WOVU 95.9 FM. We are here for the community. It's called Our Voices United. We are united to give you all the information from sports, music, gospel, mental health, financial literacy, anything that you need, we got to hear at WOVU 95.9 FM. Don't forget to download our app right now. Go to your mobile app store, download WOVU, put it on your phone. These are one of the reasons why you need to listen to us. We are the community. We're for the community. I am your music director, DJ Chris Towles. And thank you for listening to WOVU 95.9 FM.
Right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. So, Marshawn, there was a thing that happened this week. That thing was now we can technically they are still the Cleveland Indians, but we call them the Cleveland baseball team here on air. And pretty soon, in about a week, less than a week, they will be the Cleveland Guardians. Can you talk a little bit about what this means to you, and what is your favorite memory of the team formerly known as the Cleveland Indians?
The team means everything. It's the baseball team of the city that I grew up in. All I've ever known since I've lived on this earth is the Cleveland Indians. It's gonna be kind of different calling them the Guardians, but one thing about life, you adapt with change. And I don't. Everybody else is like all in the uproar about, I'm not going to support this team.
Certain people are in the uproar.
Well, not everybody, but some people are, I'm not going to support this team, which I think is kind of outlandish. I think they're going to support this team. I just kind of feel like, it needs to just settle in on them for a little bit. But my favorite memory would have to be Rajai Davis Game 7, to be able to actually witness a World Series, to be able to remember. I was young the last time we went to the World Series in '97, but to be able to see it, be able to be at Game 7 when he hit the homer, even though we still lost, that's always going to forever be, a memory that I'm not going to forget. As far as expectations, like I've been saying before, I feel like, with the new team, I think that like that black cloud for the Indians, Native Americans, stuff like that, possibly going to be lifted off the team. That we might be able to start winning. And we'll be having these random rainouts and stuff like that cause us to lose. So I expect, with a new name, would have liked to see a new identity instead of just being, the Guardians and Indians script, and you just obviously realistically just change the name. Would have liked to see a new identity, but hey, I don't sign the checks, I don't call the shots for the Indians, but I'm expecting, them to be greatness. I've never seen the Indians just fall off and be one of the worst teams in baseball. So I mean, we still have a pretty good rotation. Probably need to add maybe one extra starting pitcher, I would say.
You almost got an opportunity to have a 6-man rotation.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, well, I do understand because last week Trey kind of explained it to me that, with a 6-man rotation, it kind of would throw your pitchers out of, kind of a solid, rotation where, hey, they know they're going to start every 5 days, keep them in a good rhythm, things of that nature. I understand that. But just based on the facts that what we've seen this year with, majority of, I want to say just about each one of our starting pitchers outside of, I don't know, each one of our pitchers went out at some point with some type of injury. So,
yeah. Except for Tristan. Yeah. Tristan.
No, Tristan went out with arm soreness. Cal Conjure.
I don't know if he went out with anything, or Eli Morgan.
Yeah, but just about, a good quarter of our starting pitchers went out with some type of injury. So, to alleviate that, I would try the 6-man thing. And if it don't work, you can always, get rid of it and position of a hitter. So I'm for it. Again, I would like to see this team spend some money next year, bring in, some outfield, maybe again a first baseman, second baseman, go from there. So as always, we didn't make the playoffs, but once the season over for the Indians, I kind of give it a fresh start for the next year. So I'm excited. Let's see what we do next year.
Yeah, I agree with you that Rajai Davis was one of the best home runs to ever take place. Unfortunately, it wasn't the winning home run. It was a game-tying home run. I can't blame the rain delay. There was a lot of things that was wrong with that game. But yeah, the World Series in 1997 and 94, 95, or 95, 96.
Mm-hmm.
I was much younger then and really wasn't paying that much attention to baseball. I was in high school. So, I was thinking about other stuff. I really wasn't thinking about professional sports all like that because I was busy with my sports. But, the Cleveland baseball team, it is what it is. And you said maybe they'll be better because the bad juju have been removed. It's just so many things going through my mind. I don't really have the time to, go through them all. But, it was time. It was time. And mainly the people who are complaining about the name change, they look nothing like you and I. And these are people who are okay with casual racism and racism continuing. We all know how disrespectful it is. And just because you are not personally offended by something doesn't mean that other people aren't. And those people matter too. And I think people are just mad that they have to respect other people that were deemed that they shouldn't be respected or they're not worthy of respect. So that's the way I look at it. Right now, you do have a bright future with that pitching staff, but you got to get people who can hit the ball. You got to get people that can give them run support when they're giving you quality innings. You have to figure out what you're going to do with Jose Ramirez because right now he is your team. He was second to Francisco Lindor. So, they got to figure out what they're going to do with him. And that is offering some money. I was laughing when you said spend some money. I just don't see it being something that the Indians are ever going to do, which is very unfortunate because as you can see, the Chicago White Sox, they built that team organically and they are walking away with the Central Division this year instead of the Cleveland baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
And they only got 90 wins. So all we had to do was get about 16 more wins than what we did. This is one of the first times in, I think, the first year Terry Francona came in, we finished under 500, and this is the second time. He needs to figure out what he's going to do supposedly he wants to come back and coach. I don't think that he needs to. I think that he needs to retire. I don't think it's healthy for the team to constantly have your skipper not be able to manage you because he has health issues. At a certain point in time, he's going to have to give it up. But, a lot of memories with them being the Cleveland baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also excited for the future. And also, I want to give my condolences to the family of Matt Lodi. Matt passed away.
Man,
he's been in journalism in Cleveland for about 27 years.
Yeah.
And I believe he passed away today. It's been confirmed.
From cancer,
I just want to give us at WOVU wants to give our condolences to the family of Matt Lodi. Rest in peace. And you won the battle at the end of the day. So, he covered the Cleveland baseball team for a long time. But a lot of people have seen it all,
Mm-hmm.
and now you move on to the next chapter. And I'm not particularly thrilled with the Guardians, but it's going to have to do. That's what the name is. And I'm on board. They're always going to be my team. I don't care what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow them. And true baseball fans are going to follow them regardless. So at the end of the day, I'm okay. I'm hopeful. I just want them to be better. But I do agree with you. That was one of the best home runs. I think Sandy Alomar had a home run that was awesome. Albert Bell, who's one of my favorite players. Just so many memories. So many good players have came through. When Mark McGwire hit the scoreboard, that's not happening too often. But he got that ball up there. And also Franmil Reyes, he hit 2 home runs out of Fenway Park when they had that last series with Boston, which was amazing.
I forgot all about that, yeah.
But there's been so many memories, but the ballpark's still there. It's not like we get a new ballpark or anything like that. The ballpark is still there. So super excited for the future. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are now in season. They recently just had their first practice yesterday.
He said he was gonna cut me off if I said this, so I'm gonna look at him. He can't see. Listen, this ain't Kristaps. This team is going to be a lottery team now. You can't hear me. I want you to know the Cleveland Cavaliers will be a lottery team this year.
It certainly will.
No expectations.
But hey, if you play Taco Fall, who's 7'5", all you got to do is just lob it to him all day and just keep him under the basket. I'm serious. 7'5".
That's pretty crazy.
7'5".
Yeah.
He don't got to do nothing. He can just drop it in there like it's a Kleenex or something.
We're gonna talk about them next week. Though. I call it my Wale rant. You know how Wale get on Twitter and just do his random rants?
No, I don't follow him.
Man, I got a Wale rant about the Cavaliers. Cavaliers could be in so much better position, but they didn't do something right. We're gonna keep.
Score predictions. We got 3 minutes left.
So where we starting?
Let's go OSU.
I really like Rutgers' defense. Ohio State's defense is bottom of the barrel. I am going to say 41-24 Ohio State over Rutgers.
I was going in the 40s too. I'll take 48. 48-27.
48-27? Okay.
Yeah. And then what's your Cleveland Brown prediction? We got 2 minutes left.
Cleveland Brown prediction. Kareem and Chubb is going to both get a touchdown, either rushing or receiving. Odell's going to get a touchdown. Browns are going to win 31-20.
35-24 is what I got.
Okay.
For your Cleveland Brownies.
All right.
So they will go to
finally watch the game this week. I ain't got to watch it at work. I'm so excited.
Yeah, they go to 3-1.
Okay.
And then Minnesota goes to 1-3.
Okay.
So I'm good with that.
All right.
Yeah, and we still got a minute left.
All right, well, shoot. Barry had a little lamb. No. Man, I can't wait to my guy Chris Styles to hear this Cavs rant because he said don't talk bad about them Cavs. I can't wait.
We tell the truth on this show.
I can't wait.
Regardless if you want to hear it or not, we tell the truth.
I can't wait for Chris Styles to hear this because he seems to believe that the Cavs is gonna be a little bit better than what they are.
Yeah, I mean they have a good young core, but they still probably gonna be finishing in, with 20-something wins. If they can, their goal is to obviously make the playoffs, but we don't see that happening anytime soon. There's a lot that needs to be done, and part of that involves getting rid of Kevin Love, but that's neat. We'll talk about that next week. So want to thank everybody for listening, and thank you, Marshawn, for being here. Let's go Brownies. You've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM, and we